What's up, people? It's me, baby, the Million Mile Man. Today, I want to thank all my subscribers and all the people that's been rocking with me. But I have a special guest on this video. I call her Miss K. She's gonna tell you guys her experience. Please watch this video to the end because it's very educational and it'll help you in the long run. Let that bitch breathe. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Peace. Let that bitch breathe. It's me, baby. I'm back. Let that bitch breathe.
So far, this has been great as far as like the way that I'm being trained and the things I'm learning. It's far superior to the experience I had before where I was not really being trained properly at all. There was so much of a gap. When I say gap, I mean a gap between what I learned in CDL school and what I needed to know to be a safe driver on the road. And if you are a new driver, or if you're like in CDL school or you're thinking about CDL school, you have to really look at yourself honestly and ask yourself what kind of driver you want to be and what are your goals. And if your goals are strictly to make money and you don't care as much about like really understanding the mechanics of driving and of operating a truck and the different types of trucking and the different things that you have to do, the different responsibilities that you have, and understanding how those different actions work. If you go into the wrong type of setting from CDL school, you are not only not going to be set up for success, but you are potentially being set up to be a dangerous driver and a danger to yourself and to everyone on the road. And I can't really emphasize that enough. The safety aspect of driving is paramount. There's nothing more important than that, because it doesn't matter how much money you make if you end up in prison, or if you end up dead, or if someone else ends up dead and you have to live with that on your conscience for the rest of your life. No money is worth that. When I went to the other company, there was so much missing. And one of the things one of the instructors said the other day to me really resonated. He said something about how when you get out of CDL school, you learn just enough to be dangerous. And I think that is a perfect way to phrase that. I don't think that's a mischaracterization at all, because you know how to start a truck and how to make a truck move, but you don't really know how to drive a truck. I wish CDL school did teach you a lot more, and I wish it was longer and more extensive than it is, but it just doesn't work that way. It's like the whole industry. There's so much just rushing people to get out there because there's this desperation for drivers. And at the core of that is the problems with the industry make retention a constant issue. And it's like, well, maybe if we had more regulation on the trucking industry and made it more driver friendly, we wouldn't have so many problems with retention. But anyway, that's a whole other can of worms. But I guess I would say, like, for anybody who's new, if you want to feel confident in your abilities to just be at the basic level a safe driver who has confidence operating the truck and doing the basic functions, then it's probably a better idea to go to a larger company with a good reputation. And even if you may not make as much money off the bat, bottom line, what I'll end up talking about later is I did a job for a 1099 company, which is generally not a very good idea. For some people, it can probably work out. And my guess is it's better if you already have experience and you want to go that route and you understand how to manage it financially, because it's complicated. It's not something that someone like me, who's already not great with money, you need to be smart and savvy enough to understand the liabilities that are involved with for you as an individual if you decide to go with a 1099 job. And a lot of people sell people on 1099s, especially new drivers, and make them think they're going to make all this money. This is the conclusion I reached that I think is the most important overarching point. If you are fresh out of CDL school and you get offered a job making really good money that's like significantly above average for what a new trucker should make, you are sacrificing something else. There's a reason. And most of the time you think you're making a lot more money, but that's because you probably haven't done the math. And I think there's a lot of people who bury their heads in the sand and are like, oh yeah, I'll worry about the taxes. No, dude, you worry about the taxes beforehand. You need to know, like, you're going to lose your ass if you don't really understand what you're doing there. The bigger thing too is, like, you're dealing a lot of times with people who don't give a fuck about you and with no legal protections that most employees would get, no typical protections that are offered by a structure of a W-2 job. Going with a larger company that has a great safety reputation and a more thorough and rigorous training process is a much smarter and safer way to go if you want to be good at your job. And the money can come later, but you're not going to make money, or you're not going to be out there doing it for very long if you're making serious mistakes because you haven't been trained correctly. I just am really glad I made this decision. It was totally the right decision. I realized it on day one of training. I don't know if I'll ever say where I work, because I like the freedom to express myself as however I want to in my videos. And I feel like once I say who I work for, then it's like you have to be like representing your company, and I don't want to do that. I always want to be like free to be as weird and independent and off the grid and rogue and maybe political or whatever as I want to be. I don't want to have to tiptoe around the things I like to talk about because I'm representing a brand or a big company or whatever. This training experience is bridging the gap between CDL school and being out on the road as a truck driver. And let's face it, no matter what job you take on, no matter how good the training is, a lot of it is just experience. That's where you're really going to learn, is out there. But you don't want to do like I did and spend 2 weeks out on the road on your own and have crazy shit happen that makes you realize that you are not as prepared as you should be for the situations that you're in. You want to be with a company that puts safety first. So that's kind of a long way of saying that over and over again. But yeah, things are going great. I'm happy to be getting good training. I'm happy to be in my own private, quiet hotel room with my own bathroom. That is key. All right. I'm going to get some Z's and go to training tomorrow and learn some more stuff. And yeah, super truck. I'm just kidding.